All right, Coach, this past weekend, played your last 2 home matches, dropped the match to Lubbock Christian, but then ended the weekend on a high note against UTPB. Just talk about what you saw from your team this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday against LCU was disappointing. We were quite bad in doubles. There's no way around it. I mean, we needed to win the doubles point. I think that could have changed things a lot. We ended up, Evan Avery ended up pulling it out at 1, which was another top 20 win for them. Hopefully that's enough to get them back into the top 10 individually themselves. But we just were not very good on 2 and 3, and then we just, like the last 6 matches in a row that we had lost, either 4-3 or 2-5. We had at least 2 other singles matches that we could have won or should have won, and we just didn't. And that's just, that's the way it goes. That's the thing we've been dealing with the last 3 weeks is, in some of those matches we win the doubles and we have chances to get 3 singles and we just don't close them out. And then there's times where we don't win the doubles and then fight hard to give ourselves a chance. But then when it's, we need a game here to close out a set here, we don't get it. And, so LCU was kind of like a similar thing to what's been happening for the last 4 or 5 matches before that, and we had a chat afterwards, and I was like, just told him, this team has not been any lower than 2nd in conference for the last 6 years, and we're sitting here looking up at almost the entire conference in the standings, and I was just like, look, I don't really know what to do with that, guys. Like, that's not what we're here for, and that's not acceptable. And I was like, we have to win tomorrow. Like, I almost never say things like that. But I was like, guys, we have to win tomorrow. And we did, and it was senior day, and it was a good day to recognize Mika, and Avery, and everyone won. We won all the doubles, and we won all the singles, and it was a good day for everyone, and hopefully gives us a little bit of bounce in our step going into practice this week. We got a tough match against St. Mary's this weekend. It's our only match this weekend, so probably the freshest we will have been for the last month. So hopefully that helps us out. And but yeah, I mean, winning on senior day and having everyone get their wins in singles and doubles was good for us, and just gotta build on that.
That's a great segue to my next question. I was going to ask exactly about that. So your win on against UT Permian Basin, what did it mean for you to win the way you did, to sweep your largest victory this season and your home finale, senior day? What did it mean to you and your team?
I mean, that's what I told him. That was literally like one of the first things I said when we circled up after the match. I was like, it was a big deal for us to win all of those, because was that our first 7-0 win this year? I think it may have been. And I was like, and UTPB is a better team than some of the teams that we did beat, maybe 6-1 or 5-2 earlier in the year. I mean, they're tough. They have some really good players. They have some girls that are really steady. They have some girls that have a lot of big weapons and some tough matchups. And so, to get all 3 of the doubles and to get all 6 of the singles, I told him, I was like that means a lot that we did that, especially after what we've been going through the last 3 weeks. And so yeah, that's the first thing I told him, after the match, was like, that was a big deal for us to get all 7 of those. And yeah, where, I think, we haven't been feeling great, kind of about ourselves in the last, 5-6 matches, because during that stretch we've had like some amazing individual wins, like just some really, really good wins that we didn't really get to feel very good about because we weren't winning as a team. And so, yesterday no one had a reason to not be happy with themselves, because, not only did the team win, it was senior day, winning our last match at home, and we got all 6 singles and all 3 doubles. So that was definitely good for us.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Margot Renee played on court 1 the first time all season. What inspired you to make that change?
There have been times throughout the year where I was close to making, a few lineup changes from 1 to 2 or 4 to 5 or 5 to 6. And, I don't like to move the lineup, any more than necessary. There have been times earlier in the year when I was going to move her up, and then either Eva played a great match at 1 or Margot stumbled at 2, so I was like, well, maybe it's not time yet, and that's happened at multiple spots during the year where I was close to making a change, and then something happened to make me think like let's see it play out a little bit more, and then I did like Margot's matchup against their number 1, and I liked Eva's matchup against their girl at number 2, and the rules of college tennis state, like, you have to place your players in order of ability, and we have a lot of spots where 1 and 2 are close, and 3 and 4 are close, and 5 and 6 are close, and 4 and 5 are close. So you do have a little bit of latitude to kind of make your own decisions as far as who goes where, but Margot is in the national rankings, and so is Eva. They're both in national rankings. Eva beat the number 5 player in the country 2 weeks ago. So neither of them are Eva didn't go down by any means. It was just like, I thought it was a good opportunity for Margot to go up and play at 1, and with Eva graduating this year, I mean, there could be a chance that Margot's playing a lot of 1 going forward, and I don't even know if Margot will play number 1 every match for the rest of the year. Just seemed like yesterday was a good time to do it, and fortunately it worked out for everyone.
And how does Sunday's win help propel you or rejuvenate your team going forward to close the regular season on a high note on the road?
Yeah, I mean, we needed something good to happen, because we haven't had anything good happen in the last 5-6 matches, and we haven't played poorly. I mean, we've played the number 2 team in the country, the number 3 team in the country, 3 other top 25 teams. Losing to Cameron on the road. Cameron's always first or second in the conference, and there have been some just some kind of bad luck situations go on. There's been some times where like people would have a day off. They play Kingsville on Thursday and then have a day off on Friday, then play us on Saturday when we've been playing back to back, and they've been holding certain players out of certain matches to let them rest up and heal up from injuries, and then they play against us and they get us, and that's the kind of stuff that happens during a season. And if anything, it shows that teams respect us, because they want to be at as full of strength as possible when they play us, and there's some tough losses to take, matches that we have not lost in the past that this year we have lost, and you can chalk it up to bad luck, you can chalk it up to having 6 freshmen and sophomores on the team, you can chalk it up to whatever you want. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, the results are the results, and to not get them in those last 5 or 6, and then to get the one yesterday, I mean, all we can do is feel good about it, and have a good week of practice, and on the road against St. Mary's, and then all the way out to Western New Mexico and Sol Ross. So we can get ourselves to 500 in conference, which was certainly not the goal, but if we win out, we can get ourselves to 500 in conference, and be in a good spot with some good momentum going into Lone Star Conference tournament. So yeah, I mean, we just gotta to take it for everything that it's worth, maybe take it for more than it's worth, and turn it into some good vibes going into this week.
Coach, on Sunday you celebrated your 3 seniors. Talk about their impact, not only you as a coach, but also on your program.
Oh yeah, I mean, they, just to start out, like Mika, Mika basically had we didn't know it at the time, but it was basically potentially a season-ending injury in the fall. And Mika is one of the most productive doubles players that we've ever had. I think she's won 80% or more of her doubles matches in the last 2 years. And to not have her this year, she almost certainly would have been playing doubles for us. And to not have her has been difficult, and so that's been really unfortunate for her, certainly, to not be able to play in her senior year. But I mean, she was so good for us, not only as a player, especially in doubles, but she's just like the sweetest girl, and to not have her around us all the time and not have her be on the court has really been difficult for the team, but of course difficult for her, because I know this is not the way that she had planned. But the good thing for her is that, like, her tennis journey is not going to be over at the end of this year. She got a GA position at a D1 school, so she's going to be staying in college tennis and doing some coaching for a couple years. So really happy that her tennis journey is not over, and and hopefully we're going to be able to still have some time with her and ride this season out as long as possible, so she can still be part of a lot of matches. And then, Eva is just, she chose to come back this year when she could have gone somewhere else as a grad transfer. And for her, she's been in the national rankings in singles at one point or another. I think in the last 3 years. Obviously, an All-American in doubles last year. Obviously, made it to the finals of the ITA Cup this fall. Anyone who's seen her play, she's an animal on the court. I mean, she tries so hard, and she's so physical and so athletic, sometimes to her own detriment. She's flying all over the court, and she just plays a really tough style that's difficult for people to handle, and she's very, very talented, and just a coach's dream, really, as far as her commitment to working hard, her commitment to trying to make everyone around her better, and to bring a lot of life and excitement into everything. So that's definitely, we'll miss her off the court and on the court next year. But yeah, I mean, Eva's just been extremely important to this program for the last 4 years. And then Avery was with me at Milwaukee to start her college tennis career, and she won a lot of matches for us there, a lot of big matches. And then, to come here, and she's just dealt with so many injuries in her career. I mean, a lot of people don't know this. I mean, she's a multiple-time, junior national champion in doubles, and, finalist in the Super Nationals. And she's a top 20 D1 recruit up until she was probably 16, 17 years old. And just all the injuries that she has had, and for her to embrace the opportunity to come play college tennis, maybe in a way that is not the way she expected it, but for her to commit to finding her love for tennis, and to embrace college tennis the way that she did, and to trust me to, after I left the team at Milwaukee, for her to trust me to come here and play for me again and come to ASU, and to help take us to the Sweet 16 for the first time in program history, to be one of our first doubles All-Americans in history, and ITA Cup finals, and then she's just a great kid. I mean, she's the best teammate anyone could ask for, and just like Eva, she's gonna fight so hard and make everyone around her better, and kind of demand that everyone else has a high standard. And so, I mean, those three girls are incredibly important to me, and incredibly important to us as a program, and they made a lot of contributions to the tennis team and athletic department. So, it's gonna be tough to have them, go for the last time, but we're gonna, told them this yesterday, we got to ride this out as long as possible, because if we make a run to NCAAs again, and we finish the season in Florida, we got a whole nother month to go if we can put some matches together. So yeah, just really looking forward to extending this season as much as possible.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.